I love what Chris Plant does. Chris Plant is amazing. The way he just brings it to him, puts it to him. Chris Plant is doing an incredible job for America. Magnificent, terrific job for America. He really is. Along with Larry O'Connor, along with Ben Shapiro, along with Mark Levin. I'm talking about outstanding. Excellence. Man, AOC, I actually heard her speak today on the radio on the Chris Plant show, and I was just floored. Like, I knew that she was not up to par, but I didn't realize how simple she really, like, simple-minded like she really was. Like, I didn't realize how egregiously, like, ridiculous that she is. I just didn't know. I mean, I knew, okay, I did, but, like, it was just put into perspective for me. I'm like, wow, she's part of Congress? Like, wow, like, Congress is in trouble because she's part of Congress. And, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, the dumbing down of America is a really astonishing phenomenon. Just the dumbing, like, how people are really sheeples, some of them. How they're just sheep people, and how they'll just go along with any fool who gets elected to some type of political position and role in America. Like, how easily, like sadly and pathetically, people can be brainwashed in America, like, even in the 21st century. I'm just like, wow, that's fucking scary. Like, people actually listen to her shit that she spews. And the shit that she espouses is socialism. I mean, man, she's leading people down a really fucking dark path, man. She, in concert with Nancy Pelosi, in concert with Crooked Hillary, in concert with Al Sharpton, in concert with Eric Holder, in concert with James Comey and Andrew McCabe and Lisa Page and Peter Strzok and the rest of them, Hussein Barack Obama and Bernie fucking Sanders. I mean, these people are dangerous. They're dangerous to themselves and the public, in my opinion. I mean, this is frightening stuff. Like, there are people in government like AOC who really have no idea what the fuck they're talking about or even doing. Like, and they represent somehow government. So you have these people in government who are fucking whacked out, who are deleterious. These people are quite nefarious and malevolent. They absolutely are. They're ill-intended. These people have ill intentions. They're not well-intended. These people intend to do harm to America, knowingly and willfully. Socialism is a fucking disease in America. It's a plague, and it's a disease, and it's sick, and it's spreading at an alarming rate. AOC is one of the causes. She, along with the others mentioned, they're all part of it, and they're all in on it, and it's all being orchestrated through Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is like a major node, as is AOC, in this vector, in this fucking disease of socialism. Bernie Sanders, this guy is fucking bozo, man. Like, just, like, I mean, I need a word to really, like, in addition to bozo, that's good, but it needs another, it needs an addition. I don't want to say crazy, because it's not that he doesn't know what he's doing. He does. So it's not that he's actually crazy. It's that he's He's communist and he's fucking dangerous. He's a dangerous commie. Bernie Sanders is a socialist, communist, dangerous man, in my view. Because the stories that he's telling people are right in line with the Barack Hussein business model of telling people that you're going to give them a bunch of shit for free. Basically a free-for-all. Like Seattle. You've heard of Seattle, Washington? Have you seen the documentary on TV, on YouTube yet, called Seattle is Dying? Please watch that. I'd like for every American of an adult age to watch that. I urge you to watch Seattle is Dying. Seattle, a.k.a. Free Attle. You know, just a free-for-all. It's very fucking sad, very disturbing, very pathetic. You have city civic so-called leaders. They are not real leaders. They're fake leaders. They're pieces of trash. They're the worst kind of human beings. They have not only failed to do their jobs, but they rigged up the system so that everything would go wrong. And in some regard, they made Seattle a free-for-all. It's not entirely a free-for-all. We're going to put a stop to it. But they ruined Seattle in large part. A large part of Seattle has been ruined because of what these evil, maniacal nihilists have done. These people are nihilists. These people are tyrants, wannabe tyrants. These people are dubious, and they're duplicitous. They tell two fucking stories. They're double talkers. They're double speakers. In some Christian circles, in some religious circles, people talk about demonic entities that double speak. They say two things at the same time. That's what these so-called leaders in Seattle do. These Seattleite leaders, so-called leaders, these diabolical entities, they're double speakers. They're double talkers. They tell you that they're working on fixing the problem. They're not really doing that. It's all deception, all artifice, all a lie. 100% false data. All of their information is fallacious. These people are letting heroin come in and helping heroin come in. They're letting heroin come in and they're helping heroin come in. And they've told the police to stand down and make no arrests, to make minimal arrests. And of those who are arrested, they're right back out on the streets. Largely. Mostly. Because they're profiting. These so-called leaders. This is like something right out of a dystopian movie. These people are doing this in Seattle. Seattle is dying. People are doing this, these civic so-called leaders and politicians and officials, they're doing this intentionally, deliberately, purposefully. Oh, yes, they are. Because naturally, they have the keys to the city and they could put a stop to it, but they've chosen not to. They keep feeding toxic substances to the citizenry. They keep shelling out, distributing, forking over drugs, toxins, toxic substances, pretending like they're helping. They're allowing for the tent city. They're saying that they're trying to disrupt it and break it up and it moves around because they're helping it move around and they're helping it snake through the city. They're doing it. This is being done to these people. These people are robber barons. These people are a cabal. These people are drug dealers masquerading as city officials, public officials. They're maximum liars. These people are involved in subversion, undermining the system. They're trying to create a free-for-all, whilst making it appear as if they are the bearers of light, doing good for the system and society. They're fucking liars. All of them. The ones that I'm referring to. The good men and women in uniform who want to intervene, who want to do well for the system, their hands are tied. They can't do anything because in the socialist, Marxist, fascist county of King County, the Emerald City, Seattle, aka Freeattle, you have a cabal. You have these superficial, superfluous, wannabe officials, these quasi-officials, these people who were somehow elected, and they're damaging society for profit while pretending like they're here, that is, to fix the problem, to solve the problem, to come up with solutions. It's the Hegelian method approach. They created the problem while having the solution at the same time. They don't want to provide the solution. They have it, but they've held it back. It's withheld. Now in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, there is a program that gets people clean. It's an actual solution. I've seen the documentary, information, the empirical data. It works. Seattle could integrate, thus implement that program. Seattle doesn't want to. Those are the city officials who are part of the cabal, who are ruining society in the Western Hemisphere, in Seattle proper, Seattle specifically, because they're profiting. They're clearly profiting. They throw their hands up, they pretend as if they're outnumbered and that the odds are stacked against them, and they say, woe is us, what can we do? We're trying this, blah, 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 running our mouths, fucking lip service, lying to the American people at their town hall meetings. It's all a lie, man. They're all fucking lies. Now, in an ideal system, those people would be arrested by the United States federal government. The feds would go in to Seattle and they would say, 500 of you people are under arrest now and you're going to federal fucking prison. We've been watching you for a long time. You're not going to snake your way out of it. You're not going to fucking get out of this. You're going to be arrested. You're under arrest. Fuck you. You're under arrest. You allowed for Seattle to turn into a shit show, into a shit hole. In addition to that, James Comey would be arrested by the United States government, as would Andrew McCabe, as would Lisa Page, as would Peter Strzok, as would Hussein Obama, as would any of the motherfuckers who were involved in the attempted coup against our elected president. They would have been arrested a long time ago. William Barr, his story, it needs to come to fruition. Because in an ideal scenario, in an efficient America where you have Congress and you have a Senate, there wouldn't be people like Nancy Pelosi as speakers of the House, as a Speaker of the House. She wouldn't be allowed to operate in government because she's out of her motherfucking goddamn mind, and that's my opinion, and that's my assessment as an observer and as a professional analyst. She's out of her motherfucking mind. Anybody who doesn't want to secure the southern border is a fucking piece of shit, period. Fucking piece of shit. She's a fucking piece of shit in my book. Because in her little hometown, she's protected and she's secure. The only reason she doesn't want to secure the southern border is because it's a thorn in the side of the current administration. So she's willing to risk the lives of Americans. She's willing to allow for the continuous affliction to take place. She's hoping and banking on America bleeding in the southern part of the country. She's banking on it. She's willing to willing to run that risk of not patching the border to the detriment of society. You know why? Because she's a self-entitled she's a self-entitled person. It's all about her. It's all about her fucking ego. It's all about her stupid Marxist fucking socialist goddamn fucking politics. So to the detriment of Western civilization and society, it's just like any dystopian movie. She's willing to take the risk that with her politics, every day, Trump bashing, no border being patched, no border security, really, lack of efficiency thereof. She's willing to take the risk that by continuing to run her motherfucking stupid goddamn mouth every day about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, she thinks that's going to somehow be advantageous and help her in some way, that she'll find favor in the minds of a majority of Americans by playing this deadly fucking game. While at the same time, simultaneously, have you seen the volume of illicit substances, contraband, drugs, narcotics? Have you seen the voluminous, multitudinous amounts of toxins and drugs and guns and just shit that comes through the southern border? Why don't you Google it? The fact that anybody in America would allow for there to be a porous border area, any type of conduit like that at all, doesn't even make any fucking kind of mathematical sense. The only sense that it makes is that somebody is profiting from it. That's it. You can use supercomputers, you can use actuarial scientists, you can use number crunchers, you can use mathematicians, anyone. And when you do the math, it all adds up to the same. The only reason why America would have a porous border like there is currently is because somebody is profiting from it. It's not like it's something that can't be patched. It's not like it's something that was just kind of like random, like, oh, it just kind of randomly occurred. It's open because somebody's been profiting from it forever. Nancy Pelosi, she's profiting by it and from it now because it helps her politics. In her sphere of influence and the type of shit that she's doing, the type of evil that she's spinning, the type of wickedness of which she's a part and involved, it helps her. It absolutely helps her politics because it's a point of contention. So as long as that border stays open, she can play the blame game. She can assign blame to Donald Trump. She can say it's Donald Trump's fault that the border is as porous as it is. In reality, the reason why that border area hasn't been closed off with some type of effective, efficient barrier is because of her. Because she refuses to be part of the solution. She intends and wants to be deliberately, purposefully, willingly, knowingly and willfully part of the problem. Man, I'd like to say, in some respect that I hope that her neighborhood is overrun by the type of shit that happens at the southern border. But that wouldn't really be right. But I'll say this, man, karma's a motherfucker, man. Karma's a motherfucker, man. And that woman and her cronies, her clan, her tribe, her cabal, it's at its end, man. It really is. Because the American people, man, the GOP, the Republic, won't stand for it. Won't stand for it. And her politics have run their course, man. She's at the end of her political career, is my guess, is my guesstimate, is my estimate, is what I see. Because, man, she's done her fair share of running part of America into the ground, into the mud, into the dirt. She's done her fucking share of the dirt that these other people in her cabal have done. Barack Hussein with his fucking lies about healthcare, his dope fiend fucking politics, his crackhead basehead fucking politics, his lies, his deception, his smoke, his mirrors, his laser beams, pretending to like curb the tide, turn the tide of ISIS and to quell and stamp out ISIS. It was all a fucking ruse, man. That dude wasn't really doing shit. He was helping ISIS rise. Hillary, crooked Hillary with their fucking espionage server. Robert Mueller with his witch hunt and his J. Edgar Hoover politics with James Comey with their 9/11 inside job where they suppressed Colleen Rowley's intel former FBI analyst Colleen Raleigh could have stopped 9/11. They didn't want to. They knew it was going to happen, told her to stand down because they apparently, supposedly, according to them, had someone inside and it was all good and they were going to make sure that it didn't happen, but they wanted it to happen anyway because they don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck about America or Americans' lives. It just equals expanded police powers for them, man. So they let that shit happen. Yeah, and those people are still walking around unarrested. William Barr needs to do his motherfucking job.